Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, an episode entitled Celebration. This episode stars Virginia Bruce and Robert Young. It was originally broadcast September 23rd, 1948.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. Robert Young and Miss Virginia Bruce in Anton Leader's production of Celebration, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Just a couple more miles and I'll be there. I wonder how she is today. If there were only some way to get through to her, to make her understand. Well, I can't put it off any longer, for her sake.
It's a big, wide, wonderful world. I sang. Todd was coming for me. As I packed my suitcase, I looked out of the windows. The gardens were lovely, the patio with the peasant furniture. Some of the girls were playing badminton, some were in the pool. Todd was coming for me, and I had a surprise for him. It's a big, wide, wonderful world. Oh, let's see, where's my pink bed jacket? Bottom drawer? It was here, I think. Well, where's the white one? Oh, dear. I couldn't seem to find anything, but I didn't care. Todd was coming for me. It's a big, wide, wonderful world. I knew what he'd say. Oh, Emily. Emily, how I've missed you. He'd hold me so hard and rub his cheek on my hair and kiss me. And I'd tell him about the surprise. I'd say...
Mrs. Ward?
Yes?
It's Mrs. Halleck.
Oh, one moment, Mrs. Halleck. I pushed my suitcase under the bed. Come in, Mrs. Halleck.
Your husband just phoned, Mrs. Ward. He'll be here soon.
Oh, Todd, such a darling. Thank you, Mrs. Halleck. You've been so kind to me.
Well, I try to be to all the ladies.
I just have to put on my perfume. It's Passionate Night. Do you like it?
Grand. Oh, careful, you're spilling it.
Oh, I can't seem to hold things.
Well, it didn't break. Stand back. I'll wipe it out.
Oh, thanks. Heavens, I used to fill this dress out, and now I look like a scarecrow in it, don't I?
You look grand. Now, you have everything. Your hat, gloves, purse.
Oh, of course.
Well, you remember last time you went for a drive?
Last time?
Oh, I didn't see your suitcase.
Well, I was just packing it. I thought I wouldn't come back tonight.
Well, did you want to get this bunch of letters in your suitcase, too?
Of course. Give them to me. They're Todd's letters. Todd simply adores me, Mrs. Halleck.
I'm sure he does.
Just listen to this letter and you'll see. Darling, you are my happiness. I can't live without you. You're as necessary as... When I looked up, she was gone. She had left while I was reading. I knew what she'd do. She'd tell Todd I dropped that perfume.
I think you should understand, Mr. Ward.
I could hear her talking to Todd downstairs in the vestibule.
I appreciate all you've done for her, Mrs. Halleck.
As I told you in the letter, she would be better off in a place where she'd get personal attention.
I'll take care of it.
That woman, that two-faced... She came in and told me Todd was waiting downstairs. I danced down the stairs to Todd.
Oh, darling.
Oh, Todd. Todd.
And now, if you'll excuse me, please.
Oh, of course. Thank you. Emily, come here.
Oh, Todd.
Emily. Oh, Emily, how I've missed you.
Darling.
You know, dear, today's an important day. Our 8th wedding anniversary.
Why, Todd, we were married only 6 weeks ago.
What?
I mean, I never can remember dates.
Well, we're going to celebrate.
Oh, darling.
Really celebrate this anniversary. We're going to all the places we used to go. The lake, Lover's Lane. Come on, darling, let's go. How can I tell her? What can I say? How can I do the things I must do? If only we could really turn back the clock. Back to before she fell down the stairs. Back to a time before the doctors told me about the pressure on her brain. The fact that any operation would prove fatal. If we only could go back to those wonderful days so long ago and keep them forever. But there's no turning back the clock. Not ever.
Smell those pines.
Yes.
Todd, didn't you wonder why I brought a suitcase?
Well, yes, I did.
That's because of the surprise.
Surprise?
Yes, I'm not going back to the club, Todd. I'm coming home with you.
Wonderful, dear.
And I'm going to make chintz drapes for the living room and do the bathroom over with a full-length mirror and the kitchen, lots of stunning color.
Now you're talking.
It'll be a big job, but we don't care, do we?
Of course not. But let's celebrate first, huh? If she only could understand how much that home of ours meant to me. If only she knew how deeply it hurt to see her. To hear her now the way she has been ever since the accident. The way she must be as long as that pressure is on her brain. If only she could understand.
Todd didn't want to go home. I saw the side of his face. He was looking straight ahead. A sad look. Closed up, sort of. Then we turned in at the lake, and he cheered up.
Look at that water, Emily.
Yes.
Have you ever seen anything so blue?
No.
Nothing is blue except your eyes.
Oh, you darling flatterer.
Well, here's our old parking place.
Isn't it awfully quiet?
You know, Emily, we could live a whole lifetime and never find anything better than we have right here.
He opened the door.
I'll get some blankets out of the back.
I sat there while he went around to the back. I was alone again. People were always going away and leaving me alone. Oh, now, put a brave face on it, Emily. Powder your face and fix your lips. I opened my purse and groped around for my lipstick. Oh dear, I wanted to spill like that. I reached down to pick up my things. Lipstick, compact. And my hand touched something. A little box. It was heavy. I read the words on the label. 38 caliber soft-nosed shells. Bullets.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Robert Young and Miss Virginia Bruce in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
September 23rd, 1948, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-772-6113. 800-772-6113. 800-772-6113. That's 800-772-6113.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Suspense, September 23rd, 1948.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Robert Young and Miss Virginia Bruce in Celebration, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Everything was so lovely until I found that little box. I opened it, looked down at the bullets in it. What did Todd want with bullets? The box was only half full. I could hear Todd still rummaging around in the back of the car. I put the cover back on the box when I heard him coming around to the side.
All set? I've got the blankets.
I held the box of bullets under my purse.
Come on, darling, let's get out on that beach.
You lead the way.
Okay.
I followed Todd 3 or 4 steps. And then I let the box slip out of my hand.
Here we are. I'll, spread the blankets. Come on, Emily, let's curl up and take it easy.
Thank you.
Look at that lake.
Todd, what were you going to do with those bullets in the car?
What bullets? That imagination of yours.
Oh, but I saw them, held them in my hands. The box was about half full.
Come on, dear. Close to me, here.
Todd, I'm sure I saw...
Darling, please. Here, put your head on my shoulder. There.
My head aches, Todd.
No, rubbing's the thing.
Oh, you're hurting me.
I'm sorry, darling.
Oh, no.
Something the matter?
Oh, man.
Yes. What do you want?
I heard her cry as I was passing.
Well, she's all right.
Mm-hmm. Nice car you got over there.
Yes.
Thought the missus wasn't feeling well.
She's all right.
Lonely place here, huh? Well, I'll be getting along.
Where did he come from?
I thought we were alone here.
Alone?
We have so few moments together, Emily.
I get so scared. I look it, don't I?
Darling, why, when you came down the stairs today, you were radiant.
Was I? Was I really?
You were beautiful.
Why am I like that sometimes and sometimes...
You were my life, Emily. Come here.
Oh, Todd. Oh, you do want me. Kiss me again.
Emily. Emily, in all the world, there could never be another woman like you. You've given me more happiness than...
God. God, I dream of this. I live for it.
Yes, but... Emily,
Todd.
Emily, listen to me.
Todd, please.
Darling, the doctor said...
What doctor?
You know, when you went to see the doctor...
But that was ages ago. You all talk behind my back so I can't hear what you say. You and Mrs. Halleck.
I just asked her how you were, and... You must believe I love you, Emily.
Oh, I do.
That's fine. Here's where we built the sand castle, remember?
And the wave melted it. Oh, Todd, that day when I was caught in the undertow.
But I pulled you out, dear.
I was thinking, I keep dreaming about that. Sinking down into the black and you not there.
I'll be with you always, Emily.
Let's
always.
leave here, Todd. You said we'd go to all the places and celebrate. I mean, there'll be lots of people around.
People?
Yes, it'll be fun. We can have dinner at the inn.
No, it'll be crowded, Emily, and...
Say.
Oh, it's that man again.
Did you lose these things?
What things?
This box of bullets.
Bullets?
Found them in the sand, just a few steps from your car. Thought maybe you dropped them.
I dropped them. See, I told you, Todd. Those are the bullets I found in the car. Is the box half full?
Well, looks like somebody loaded a gun out of it. 38 caliber, soft-nosed shell says on the box.
Oh, I'll bet I know. I let Ernie take the car yesterday.
Ernie?
Yeah, he's gone in for target practice.
Who's Ernie?
Why,
Maybe he got them for you.
Yeah, I figured they were yours, mister. Look like they just been dropped beside your car up there.
Oh, thanks. Well, Emily, if we're going to the inn, we'd better get started. That was too close. She nearly caught me. But it's too soon for her to know. I've got to be careful. But I can't wait too long. I have to cut the celebration short. You wait here, Emily. It's been so long since we were here. I'd better see what it's like.
All right.
I'll be back in a minute.
I was alone again. Oh, relax, Emily. If Todd didn't come out in a minute, I'd go in after him. What I needed was a cigarette. I opened the glove compartment. Handkerchiefs, map, flashlight, gloves. No cigarettes. I pulled out an envelope. An envelope addressed to Todd at his office, marked personal. I unfolded the letter. Dear Mr. Ward, Dr. Kernitz today confirmed that Mrs. Ward's condition is becoming progressively worse, and she needs more personal attention than we can give her. And since we are not equipped to care for hypo-manic patients, we request that you make other arrangements for her at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Bertha Halleck. Mrs. Halleck! I threw the letter back in the glove compartment and slammed the door.
This place is terrible.
Is it?
It's all run down. We'll drive out into the country, find a quiet spot.
Oh, no, Todd. Drive into town. We can have dinner at the hotel. There'll be music and we can dance.
You know, excitement isn't good for you.
Please, Todd. Please take me.
Anything the matter here, mister?
No. My wife doesn't feel well.
Something wrong, lady?
No, I'm all right. Oh, let's drive into the hotel, Todd.
Oh, okay.
Isn't this wonderful, darling?
Wonderful. Let's drink to us, dear.
To us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Todd, you do really mean it.
More than anything in the world.
Would you get the order now, sir?
Yes. What would you like, Emily? Roast beef, southern fried chicken, lobster thermidor, duck with orange?
I'll have the southern fried chicken.
Good.
I'm afraid the chicken is all gone, madame.
Oh, that's the one thing I want. Southern fried chicken and everything that goes with it.
I'm sorry, madame.
Well, maybe there's just one order left.
I'll see what I can do. You, sir?
Lobster thermidor.
Yes, sir.
A Roomba.
Shall we dance?
Oh, yes, let's.
Come on. The way your face lights up, darling.
Being in your arms again. Oh.
Just relax, dear. Oh, excuse us, please. I'm sorry.
Oh, the music isn't right, and why is everybody bumping into us?
Let's go back to our table.
All right. Oh, thank heaven.
There was just one more order of chicken left, sir. I'll serve you in a moment.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
Where's my purse?
Right here, behind the flower bowl. And bulging full. What have you gotten there?
Your letters.
Oh, no.
Yes, I read them over and over. You wrote this one from Omaha. Darling, you are my happiness. I can't live without you.
Emily.
You're as necessary as the air I breathe.
Emily, people are listening. Better give me those letters.
No, but they're mine. You wrote them to me.
Of course, Emily.
Don't you mean what you said in them?
Certainly I do. Only, please, quiet down here.
Oh, that awful music and those lights.
Emily, here's the waiter with our food.
Oh.
May I serve you, madame?
What's that?
Fried chicken.
Oh, Todd, you know I never eat anything fried.
But the lady insisted, sir. Southern fried chicken and everything that goes with it.
Well, take it away. I'll pay for it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, maybe this once won't hurt.
Very good. Here you are, madame. The lobster, sir?
Thank you.
Not very appetizing chicken, is it?
Why not try it? Go ahead, darling.
Oh, there's no taste to it. Why are all these people making so much noise? Todd, take me home. I'm not hungry. I want to go home.
Emily, we sublet our house 3 months ago. Don't you remember when you...
When I...
Darling, we have no... Emily, dear, you must realize that we no longer have a place.
Todd was talking, but I couldn't seem to hear what he was saying. Inside, I was all stirred up.
The best thing we can do is get out of here. Come on, darling.
We got up and left. Got into our car out in the parking lot.
Where are those keys? Let's see,
Todd, are you taking me home?
We're going out where we can be together, alone. To our lover's lane, remember? Where it's quiet and peaceful.
No, Todd, I want to go home.
This is our 8th wedding anniversary, Emily. We're celebrating.
Oh, Todd.
Where are those keys?
Well, maybe they're in your top coat in the back seat.
No, they're not there.
What makes your coat so heavy? Oh. What are you doing with the revolver?
Give it to me. I'll put it in my pocket so it... Oh, here are my keys.
Todd, those bullets were...
Emily, please.
Now I see what you... Now I know.
And the conclusion of Suspense, September 23rd, 1948, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues after these words.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Now you can order one of the most advanced hearing aids on the market for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Hearing Assist's most advanced product lineup includes models that use an exclusive app for enhanced control over what you want to hear. It's perfect if you have a smartphone or iPhone to hear everything better. And we have 2 great ways for you to get one. You can call the number at the end of this ad and order directly. Or you can call this same number and we will text you a complete list of Walmart Vision Center locations. We make it easy for you to hear better. Remember, call this number today to order and have a text message instantly sent to your phone to find the Walmart Vision Center near you. Here's that special number.
Call 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. That's 800-360-0597.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Suspense, Celebration, starring Robert Young and Virginia Bruce, September 23rd, 1948.
Yes, now she knows. There's no time to lose. I've got to drive fast, get there and do it. Only she could understand. Understand that it will be better this way, better for both of us. Emily, try not to get so excited.
But those bullets, you said they were Ernie's. Who's Ernie?
Half an hour ago, I told you I loved you, remember?
Yes, I know you did, but...
Well, I do. I love you more than living.
Why are you slowing down?
Here's our lover's lane. You used to call it our paradise, remember?
It's so dark now.
Here's our magic circle. Under our big tree.
Todd,
Come, darling. Come into my arms. There.
You do love me. You do want to be with me, don't you?
Forever, Emily. The one way we can be together forever, dear, is...
No, Todd. Put that gun down. I want to live with you.
I have to tell you, darling. Listen carefully. You're not well, Emily. You're never going to be well again.
Oh, yes, I will, Todd. Yes, I will. I'll be a real wife to you. I'll be everything you want me to be.
I can't stand living without you. We'll go together.
Together?
Yes. Now, rest against me, sweetheart. Close your eyes. There.
Will it hurt much, Todd?
Only an instant, dear.
Oh, the gun is so cold on my temple.
Quiet now. I'll be with you in a moment.
No. Take it away.
Emily,
you'll kill me and leave me alone.
I promise you, I won't kill you. I didn't. I won't go through with it. Emily, stop it! Stop it, Emily!
became aware of pain in my head. There was a smell, like a hospital. I fought to remember what had happened. I'd fallen downstairs. Oh, no, that had been a long time ago. There was a gun. Todd and I struggling. That was it. Then I heard Todd talking.
Doctor, I want to tell you what happened.
I think I know, Mr. Ward. Your wife suffered a head injury some time ago, which caused the bone to press on the frontal lobe of her brain, causing acute hypomania. Isn't that right?
Yes, but you see...
I've seen many people, Mr. Ward, whose loved ones faced a living death, so I can imagine your thoughts.
Yes, but you must understand, I meant to end it.
Hmm?
For both of us. But when the time came, I couldn't. I just couldn't. Well, what happened was an accident.
A very fortunate accident, because the bullet which struck your wife's head tonight did what medical science could not do.
Huh?
The operations necessary to remove the bullet served two purposes, and your speed in getting her here saved both her life and her sanity.
She'll be all right?
After a couple of weeks of rest. And your wife is no longer a hypo-maniac, Mr. Ward. If I were you, I'd give thanks to whatever fate guided that bullet along the course it took.
Right then, I knew that everything was wonderful, even the pain in my head. And Todd was by my side, bending over me.
Emily.
Oh, Todd.
Emily, darling. Can you ever forgive me?
Forgive you, darling? After what the doctor said? Oh, Todd.
I just couldn't live without you. I wanted us always to be together.
And now we will be. Darling, isn't this our 8th wedding anniversary?
Yeah.
Well, then, let's celebrate.
Thank you, Robert Young and Virginia Bruce, for such splendid performances tonight. And now, here is Mr. Robert Young.
It's been a pleasure to appear again on Suspense, and doubly a pleasure when it meant co-starring with beautiful Virginia Bruce.
Thank you, Bob. It's been a pleasure for me, too. But there's another pleasure I'm looking forward to, hearing next week's Suspense.
We all are. Because next week, Edward G. Robinson will star in an unusual story called The Man Who Wanted to Be Edward G. Robinson. Another gripping study in
Suspense.
Virginia Bruce may soon be seen in the Paramount picture Night Has 1,000 Eyes. And Robert Young appears soon in his latest RKO production, Baltimore Escapade. Tonight's suspense play was written by Phyllis Parker and Arnold Marquis, with music composed by Lucien Morawick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Ray Milland, William Powell, Lucille Ball, John Garfield, and many others. Make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear Edward G. Robinson in The Man Who Wanted to Be Edward G. Robinson.
September 23rd, 1948, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
800-477-4612. 800-477-4612. 800-477-4612. That's 800-477-4612. Paid for by Want to Sell.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of the soap opera Claudia, September 23rd, 1948.
And now, Claudia. Claudia, is that you?
It's me, Mama.
How did you get back? I thought you'd call for Fritz to pick you up in the truck.
There's a taxi right in front of the hospital. I was going to take it only as far as the bus stand, but before I knew it, I was home. Such a nice taxi driver. Told me about his wife and his brother. He'd been in a car accident once, too, and he was laid up for 3 months.
Oh, David isn't going to be laid up for 3 months, and you know it.
Of course he isn't.
Come inside. I have some hot tea waiting for you.
I'm fine, Mama. I don't need any hot tea.
You drink it. It's raw out, isn't it?
Is it? I like it better out than in. The house feels so empty.
Flatterer. Be careful, Claudia. Don't sit on my knitting.
I see it. Oh, it's funny how a house can just change with the way a person feels. Yesterday morning it was pouring in, and yet it was so cozy and cheerful. David and I thought there wasn't a happier house in the whole world.
There isn't.
And the accident, and now it's empty.
It usually is. David never comes home before 6:30 or 7. It's only 4 o'clock now.
It's knowing he isn't coming home.
Not tonight, but soon. It could be worse.
Of course it could. How's Bobby?
Fine. He took his orange juice like a man.
Babies go right on as if nothing happened. I think I'll go up and see him. He'll make everything seem normal.
Sit where you are. You haven't told me about David yet.
Oh, well, I saw him. I was allowed in his room for 15 minutes. He sort of was dozing most of the time.
Was he able to speak?
A little. He apologized for being such a dope as to let another car hit him. I tried to make a joke. That's all.
I suppose they're keeping him half under. He'll be better tomorrow.
Of course he will. Said he was doped up, his head ached.
That's the concussion.
I never saw David look the way he looked. It's terrible for a man. Somehow they're not built to lie still in a hospital bed.
Oh, he'll be up and around and home before you know it.
I'll know it all right. Anyway, Mama, there's no need going around being so gloomy.
Who's gloomy?
I am, like a clock. I keep telling myself how lucky we are. The important thing is that he's going to be all right. He hasn't lost an arm or a leg or anything important. He's just going to lose a little time, that's all. And, well, if I just can't get along without him for a couple of weeks, why, it's just too bad for me.
You'll get along.
Of course I will. Promised David I would, so I will. Well, now I guess I will have a cup of tea.
Dr. Barry called while you were out.
He did?
He wanted to tell you it's all right to go over to the hospital and visit David, but you'd already gone.
Oh.
He says you're so wise, he's ready to turn the entire case over to you.
I'll keep my eye on David, but he better keep his eye on David's collarbone. I wouldn't know where to begin with a broken collarbone.
He told me you're not supposed to begin with anything. David'll just have to be quiet for a few weeks.
Oh, he's going to love that. It's practically impossible to get David to take care of a cold, so can you imagine what it'll be like to get him to take care of his collarbone?
I dread the day he comes home to convalesce. I only wish it were tomorrow.
I know what you mean. Time.
What about it?
I have so much of it all of a sudden. It keeps right on going. All we have to do is eat, sleep, eat, sleep. That's all.
You're going to be wishing you had twice as much time running back and forth to the hospital.
We have a nice long evening ahead of us, Mama. You and I. Just like old times before I was married.
Better than old times. You forget I have acquired a grandson along the way.
Did you ever thank me?
What should I thank you for?
For Bobby.
I thanked David.
He never told me.
Lots of things I've told my son-in-law that he's never told you.
I'll have to get after him. You know, maybe this'd be a good time when he's flat on his back. There's his pipe lying there in the ashtray. Just the way he left it. Evening papers all unread. He looked so strange, Mama, so pale against the pillow. Hey, why don't you tell me to shut up?
It wouldn't do any good. I told you many times, and it never did any good.
Maybe I'll take up knitting. I think, Mama, now I know why you've knitted all these years.
To keep you in sweaters and socks. Then to keep your husband in socks, and now to keep my grandson decently clothed.
3 days ago, I would have believed you, but I know better now.
Well, if you're so smart.
Knitting is for women who wait. Keeps their hands busy so their hearts keep still.
For a woman who's done so little waiting, you seem to know a good deal of it.
I learn fast. I learn so fast, I'm starting to appreciate you, Mama.
It's about time. You never did thank me for all those sweaters I knitted you.
Nor for all those years you waited.
Oh, don't make my life sound so tragic, Claudia. It's been a very full one.
Not because of life, but because of you. I wish I were more like you. I'd be absolutely useless without David. Good for nothing. All I could think about would be not having him. I'd never be able to make up my mind about anything.
Women aren't like that. I hope you'll never have to find out, but women aren't like that.
Mrs. Norton,
Fritz, come in.
do I disturb you?
No, of course not. I don't have a thing in the world to do except I want to go up and see the baby.
Bertha has just gone up to bathe him. How is Mr. Norton?
He's going to be all right, Fritz. I saw him.
Yes, I know.
It's going to be a little while, but he will be all right. He didn't seem to be too uncomfortable, just sort of sleepy. He wanted to know how everything on the farm was, and he sent you his regards.
You tell him we miss him.
He knows.
Well, the important thing is he'll be well soon.
Yes.
In a week, maybe, when he's stronger. Bertha and I, if you don't mind, we go to visit him.
He'd love it, just as soon as it's possible. I'll tell you.
Good. Mrs. Norton, I know you have much to worry about.
Not at all. The worry is all over.
But there are a few things that we should talk over.
Yes?
Mr. Norton will be away a little while yet.
He ought to be home in about 2 weeks. He'll be laid up after that, probably, but he'll be home.
And there's the expense. It costs so much to be sick these days.
We don't have to worry about that, thank goodness. There's the $1,000 bonus David got last week. Wasn't it lucky, Mama? I just didn't happen to spend it yet.
You couldn't spend $1,000 in a week if you tried.
Oh, I'll bet you I could. But I'm not going to try it just yet. Well, anyway, that ought to cover everything beautifully, Fritz. It's one silver lining, isn't it?
Still, sickness costs money. I know, and so I was wondering if you think we should go ahead with the work on the barn.
Well, I don't know exactly what you and David had planned.
Well, we were building a new section. The old part of the barn is in very bad condition.
Yes?
We are building a new small part, very modern, with all the necessaries to have a cow and equipment.
I see.
And the workmen, they are supposed to come tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I speak to you now. I do not like to bring you more problems than you already have.
Don't apologize, Fritz.
I could telephone them and tell them not to come if you think so.
It was quite a feat getting him in the first place, wasn't it?
Yes, labor is difficult to arrange for these days.
I know.
And we have been trying to get the workmen for weeks already.
Mm-hmm. They're supposed to come tomorrow.
Not supposed to come. They come. Mm-hmm. I telephone them and make sure this afternoon. And then I think to myself, is it good to go ahead? And I say I better ask Mrs. Norton.
I see.
It costs money. Soon it will be winter, but we could postpone it until the spring.
Well, Fritz, do you know exactly what they're supposed to do?
I have the plans Mr. Norton made. They are very clear.
Oh. How David would love to be able to supervise it himself. He certainly had his heart set on this barn.
I think the only competition you'll ever have to be jealous of, Claudia, is a cow.
I don't blame David, Mama. They have such soulful brown eyes. Well, Fritz, I wish I knew what to tell you.
Well, I better call if we decide no. I'm sorry.
Please stop apologizing. It's not your fault that I'm taking such a long time making up my mind. It's a new part to play. Well, how long do you think this work will last?
Several weeks at least, but it is not the time so much. It is the expense, particularly now.
I know. I'm just trying to think what David would do if he were here.
If he were here, this wouldn't have become a problem.
I'm so used to sort of letting him decide all the important things. Well, I guess I have decided. I'm sort of a little embarrassed to tell you what I've decided.
Whatever you say, Mrs. Norton, you know best.
I hope so. Well, I think we should go right ahead. Mr. Norton's had his heart set on this for a long time, and he'll have it. We'll manage somehow. If you feel the workmen can go ahead with the plans David's drawn up and that this is the best time of the year to do it, I think we better just go ahead, Fritz, and keep Keep our fingers crossed.
My daughter's never heard of the word caution.
Oh, don't think I'm not quaking in my boots.
Mrs. Norton, I think you're very wise.
You do, Fritz?
Yes, caution is fine, but trust is better. Also, hoping the barn will be a beautiful surprise for Mr. Norton.
Yes.
You and I, we will watch it grow for him. Well, I go now and telephone those workmen. If they do not arrive right on the nose of the hour tomorrow, I will tell them what's what.
And I bet you will.
And you bet right.
You're looking awfully sober, Mrs. Brown.
Just thinking.
Mama, did I do the right thing? So difficult deciding without David.
If you had decided not to go ahead with the work, then you would have decided without David. This way, I think you decided very wisely. I'm impressed, even.
What's there to be impressed about?
I wonder if it's brains or instinct.
Brains or instinct what?
No matter how dumb you pretend to be, you always end up doing the right thing.
I don't pretend to be dumb.
I'd rather think you pretend. But, Claudia, for once, you decided the right thing.
Yes, I think I did. You see, I don't want David to feel that without him things stop, or even that I stop. It's bad enough his being sick and feeling useless and helpless, but I want him to know that the things he wants will still be. And I'm going to go right on, Mama, right on the way David and I would have together, because we're going to be together again soon, and independent. If I'm strong now, he'll be proud of me, and it'll be better than ever. Say, Mama, I have to stop acting as if I'm a widow. It's crazy.
A taste of it never hurt a wife.
That's what I am, David's wife. Hey, I'm his son's mother, too. Do you realize I've been home 15 minutes and I haven't kissed Bobby on the brow yet? Mommy, you coming up?
Careful, Claudia, careful of the stairs. One member of the family isn't in the hospital's enough. Careful of the stair, do you hear me? Oh, that child.
If you're planning a party, whether it's a big formal affair or the most casual sort of get-together, there's one thing that's bound to go on the list of refreshments, and that's ice-cold Coca-Cola. Coke is served at the most elaborate debutante parties. It's enjoyed equally well wherever people sit down to chat or play games in city, town, or country home. For everyone, everywhere, welcomes the pause that refreshes.
Oh, Mr. King, just a moment before you go on.
Yes, Mrs. Brown?
It's good to get a man's opinion when the man of the house isn't home. Do you think Claudia decided right about the barn?
I certainly do. Life does go on, accidents or no, and the more it can stay on norm, the better. Claudia will manage, and David will love her for it.
That's the way I felt. But men, they're liable to feel different.
Not so different. Say, Mrs. Brown, Claudia must be very lonesome, isn't she?
Like a lost puppy.
Well, tomorrow we'll see her with David again when she visits him at the hospital. It'll be like old times. See you then. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir.
From September 23rd, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand. If you miss a day, you can learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there. And if you like what we do, you can buy me a coffee. That's at classicradio.stream. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Have yourself a great day. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.